teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, learners and listeners, those who are listening from the science, religion, spirituality, arts, commerce and engineering, presence of Saint Dr. Narendra Modi ji, availability of respected doctors and ministers, presence of reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters. I, Dr. Rakesh from USA, heartily cordially welcome all of you. It is really nice time, nice place, nice section. You find the truth of science and spirituality. Dear friends, today we will learn actions speak louder than words. Which loved best? I love you, mother, said little John. Then, forgetting his work, his cap went on, and he was off to the garden swing and left her the water and wood to bring. I love you, mother, said Rosinelle. I love you better than tongue can tell. Then she teased and pouted full half the day. Her mother rejoiced when she went to play. If I love you, mother, said little Fan. Today I'll help you all I can. How glad I am that school doesn't keep. So she rocked the baby till it fell asleep. Then stepping softly, she fetched the broom. She fetched the broom and swept the floor and tidied the room. Busy and happy all day was she, helpful and happy as child could be. I love you, mother, again they said, three little children going to bed. How do you think that mother guessed? Which of them really loved her best? So, dear friends, you are listening, which is the perfect example that shows how is the motherhood, fatherhood, sisterhood, and how our relations are perfected by the emotions, intellectual sense, and spiritual sense. Maintain integrity. Ancient wisdom says anything that is bought or sold has no value unless it contains the secret, priceless ingredient that what cannot be traded. What is it? The secret, priceless ingredient of every product is the credibility, the honor and integrity of the one who makes it. It is not so secret, but it is priceless. Here is another side to integrity, questionable. Three executives were fighting over who would pay the bill for lunch. One said, I'll pay. I can get a tax deduction. The other said, let me have it. I'll get reimbursement from my company. The third said, let me pay because I am filing for bankruptcy next week. Practice humility. Confidence without humility is arrogance. Humility is the foundation of all virtues. It is a sign of greatness. Sincere humility attracts, but false humility distracts. Detracts. Many years ago, many years ago, a rider. Many years ago, a rider came across some soldiers who were trying to move a heavy log with success. The corporal was standing by as the man struggled. The rider asked the corporal why he wasn't helping. The corporal replied, I am the corporal, I give orders. The rider dismounted, went up and stood by the soldiers, and as they were lifting the log, he helped them. With his help, the log got moved. The rider quietly mounted his horse and went to the corporal and said, the next time your men need help, send for the commander-in-chief. After he left, the corporal and his men found out that the rider was George Washington. The message is go hand in hand. When others blow your horn, the sound goes further. Just think about it. Simplicity and humility are two hallmarks of greatness. Humility does not mean self-demeaning behavior. That would amount to belittling oneself. It is rightly said that humility makes us victor, arrogant loses all. These are the ornaments and decorations of the soul, but in this present time, our soul has circled and covered with evils. So, by doing meditation or by focusing on the words of God, presence of Lord, we must feel free from foundations, aspirations and frustrations. And it is rightly and forcefully said in our holy religions that man is born to free, but he is in shackles. How he can get free himself from these falsifications, ego, variousness, lust, false affection, and evils, diseases. It is in the hands of man by the blessings of God and grace of Lord. If he is the strong believer of the goodnesses, humanity, then he can feel the presence of Lord in his body, and it is strongly advocated, appealed, and addressed by Swami Vivekananda to the worldly people just by thinking, speaking, reading, writing, and listening and learning. Two words, my brothers and sisters. These two words were the great message of purity of our soul. Be understanding and caring. In relationships, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we are insensitive to the needs of others, especially those very close to us. All this leads to disappointment and resentment. The answer to handling disappointment is understanding. Relationships don't come about because people are perfect. They come about because of understanding. There is more gratification in being a caring person than in just being a nice person. A caring attitude builds goodwill, which is the best kind of insurance that a person can have, and it doesn't cost a thing. Some people substitute money for caring and understanding. Being understanding is far more important than money. And the best way to be understood is to be understanding. And the basis of real communication is also to be understanding. Practice generosity. It is a sign of emotional maturity. Being generous is being thoughtful and considerate without being asked. Generous people experience the richness of life, which a selfish person cannot even dream of. Be considerate. Selfishness brings its own revenge. Be sensitive to other people's feelings. Lesson which was provided by our holy religions through the words of Swami Vivekananda. He who stressed upon the feelings of tolerance and endurance. Swami Vivekananda addressed the whole nation by saying that do your work selflessly and unexpectedly, unrelentingly, unceasingly, unceasingly. If you work, then it will bring the glory for nation and clan. And it is rightly said by him, elevate the grace of land to which you really belong. Indelible would be thy fame if it is kept up along. Those who commit sincerely patriotism and prayer attain spiritual peace, divine glimpse, the social status, whatever there. What does the lines are addressing to us? What does the word appealing to us? We have to understand carefully. Be tactful. Tact is a very important in any relationship. In all the relationships, tact is very important. Tact is the ability to make a point without alienating the other person. Kindness. Money will buy a great dog. Money will buy a great dog, but only kindness will make him wag his tail. It is never too soon for kindness because we don't know how soon is too late. Kindness is a language the deaf can hear and the blind can see. It is better to treat a friend with kindness while he is living than display flowers on his grave when he is dead. Gentlemen, dear friends, you are learning that how our nature nurtures us. Nature nurtures us like a mother. Nature treats us like a doctor. Nature guides us like a supervisor. So it's the natural and spontaneous talent of the nature that nature fills us with kindness. A child learns and forms his habits through nature. Then nature plays the role of a teacher. An act of kindness makes a person feel good regardless of whether he is doing it or it is done to him. Words never hurt the tongue. Hot words hurt feelings of others, and hot words anger, damage, decrease thought level of our mind. In that moment, we do not care our relationships, and not only it's the blood relations, but we have a great relation with our motherland. We are made by air, fire, soil, sky and water. These are also our relative and friends. We have worldly people with us, society, nation, all around us. They are also hurted by hot words. So we should avoid, try to maintain our temperature of the body. So there may be some physical reasons behind our anger or hot words. We are trying to do pranayama, yogasana, dhyana for escaping a such situation that can destroy or damage our image in the society and nation. Practice courtesy on a daily basis. Courtesy is nothing more than consideration for others. It opens doors that would not otherwise open. A courteous person who is not very sharp will go further in life than a discourteous but sharp person. It is the little things that make a big difference. Have you ever been bitten by an elephant? The most obvious answer is no. Have you ever been bitten by a mosquito? Most of us have. It is the little irritants that test patience. Courtesy is made of nothing more than many petty sacrifices. Small courtesies will take a person much further than cleverness. Courtesy is an offshoot of deep moral behavior. It costs nothing but pays well. No one is too big or too busy to practice courtesy. Courtesy means giving your seat to the elderly or to the disabled. Courtesy can be a warm smile, a thank you. It is a small investment, but the payoffs are big. It enhances the other person's self-worth. Requires humility. It is unfortunate when people become obnoxious because they detract from their positive traits. I have overheard people saying with pride, can be pretty obnoxious, scatter the seeds of courtesy wherever you can. Some are bound to take root and elevate you in the eyes of others. And it is rightly said in our holy scriptures that courtesy comes from inside. If we are normal, easy, simple, general, then automatically we speak with the command and order of the internal God, who is always with us, who was, who will in past, present and future. He never let us alone. He always supports us, cooperates us in all the actions of the human body, in speaking, reading, writing, listening, and even in all the other actions, physical activities. He helps us in His presence, by His presence. So, repeat the God's words when we forget, and if we do not forget, then nature of spontaneity and naturality will provide us the presence of Lord. Because He Himself says He does exist everywhere. He does exist even in vacuum. Even where there is no soul, He does exist. So that's why He is God or Lord. Our whole body, if we imagine that it is like a room or it is like a home, then who is in the home, who is in the room? The home is evaluated, examined, observed only by the man. Likely that this human body, who is in this skeleton, who is in this blood and skin, it is evaluated by the soul. If soul does exist in this skeleton, in this blood or bone, brain, only then we can say man. Otherwise we are not a man of men. So dear friends, presence of Lord must. Presence of Lord means be easy, simple, common with God or Lord. So now you are understanding that how our actions speak louder than words. God does exist in the form of words when we forget Him. If we do not forget Him, then He also exists without words. Means wordless form, wordless knowledge, information, instruction, direction is also the presence of Lord. If we do not record, do not save, download, imitate, copy, it means not that we are not the learner. We are the natural learner from the nature. And it is through the nature. Nature teaches us manners. Courtesy and manners go hand in hand. It is equally important, if not more, to practice manners at home and not just on outsiders. Showing consideration and good manners brings out a feeling of warmth and acceptance in the home. Courtesy means practicing good manners. And for teaching the manners, style, standards, methods, our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji started Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana PMKVY, and I worked, I delivered motivational lectures for encouraging, motivating our youth. Swami Vivekananda, who is the role model of our present Prime Minister, through his words, I tried to create visionary and revolutionary change in our youth for the constructive behavior and for bringing recreation, regeneration, reoperation in our nation and society. Spiritual, economical values of our nation that makes us superb, matchless and incomparable all over the world. We are known not by only degrees and diplomas, but it is cherry on the cake if we have manners, styles, standard. Anji. Besides being self-satisfying, politeness and courtesy have many more advantages than rude. Considering that, I wonder why more people don't practice courtesy. Rude and discourteous people may get short-term results. Most people like to avoid dealing with such behavior, and in the long run, rude people are disliked. Dear friends, we are learning that our manners, soft spoken words, soft skills are very important for helping us, providing us goodnesses in our daily routine. Courtesy comes from inside by the purity of soul. Courteous behavior ought to be taught to children at an early age so that they can grow and become mature. considerate adults, courteous behavior, once learned stays for life. And courtesy becomes the part of our character. If we change our habits, repetition of the habits become the part of our character, and character becomes ultimately fortune or fate or luck. Some days before, I was observing a picture of the saint with smiling face, musical, magical, and majestic expressions of his face compelled me to write good luck and good luck. It demonstrates a caring attitude and a sensitivity to other people's feelings. It seems trivial and unimportant, but little phrases such as please, thank you, and I am sorry take a person a long way. Remember, being courteous will breed courtesy. In return, practice as much and as often as you can. Initially, it may take some effort, but the effort is well worth it. Politeness is the hallmark of gentleness. This is the first lesson, first step to get success in any field, and especially in spirituality. Courtesy is another name for politeness. It costs a little but pays not only to the individual but to the entire organization. Have you noticed that sometimes when one person is telling a joke, another person will jump in and give the punch line, drawing attention to himself, and after everyone laughs, he will reveal where he read it. This may show superior knowledge, but it shows inferior manners. Courtesy shows good upbringing. Yes, courtesy is the mirror through which we read the parental values, social, spiritual values of the person. And courtesy is the past of our civilized society. Many brilliant and talented people have destroyed their own success because they lack courtesy and manners. Politeness and courtesy are signs of being cultured. Rudeness and discourtesy show the lack of it. Treat other people with respect and dignity. And in Hindi, it is written that Bada Banasib, Beda Benasib. Rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength. Develop a sense of humor. Have a sense of humor, and you will possess the ability to laugh at yourself. A sense of humor makes a person likable and attractive. Some people are humor impaired. Learn to laugh at yourself because it is the safest humor. Laughing at yourself gives you the energy to bounce back. Laughter is a natural tranquilizer for people all over the world. Humor may not change the message, but it certainly can help to take the sting out of the bite. The true pleasure, true happiness is the symbol of your spiritual confidence, and you can show your sense of humor through your face, which is the index of your mind. Means that in your mind you have good thoughts for the others. That's why you have a smiling face. The healing power of humor. Sometimes we observe that whenever we visit any hospital, some doctors, those who treat the patients, and they pacify, treat with their soft words with the patient, and treat the patients softly by their actions. Actually, they are soft for others but hard for their internal. So it requires a great tolerance and endurance power of treating with the patient. Dr. Norton's, author of Anatomy of an Illness, is a prime example of how a person can cure himself of a terminal illness. He had a 1 in 500 chance of recovery. But cousin wanted to prove that it would matter. He would make it a reality. He figured if negative emotions caused negative chemicals in our body, then the reverse must be true too. Positive emotions like happiness and laughter into our system. He moved from the hospital to a hotel and rented humorous movies and literally cured himself by laughing. Of course, medical help is important, but the will to live for the patient is equally, if not more important, a lifesaver. Besides, it makes life's adversities easier to handle. Don't be sarcastic and put others down. Don't be sarcastic and put down. Don't be sarcastic and don't be sarcastic and put others down. Negative people's humor may include sarcasm, putting down, and hurtful remarks. This is a better tool of the victors. If they are really victor and winner in their life, then they will fight with the negativities, false affection, lust, ego, variousness, anger, greed, whatsoever they have with their soul. Any humor involving sarcasm that makes fun of others is in poor taste. An injury is forgiven more easily than an insult. As per the thought of Cliff Thomas, when someone blushes with embarrassment, when someone carries away an act, when someone carries away an act, when something sacred is made to appear common, when someone's weakness provides the laughter, when profanity is required to make it funny, when a child is brought to tears, or when everyone can't join in the laughter, it's a poor joke. To a sadist, everything is funny. So long as it is happening to someone else, it's a common sight to see boys throwing stones at frogs just to have fun. The boys' fun means death to the frogs. It is not fun for the frogs. Humor can be valuable or dangerous, depending on whether you are laughing with someone or at someone. Depending on you are laughing with someone or at someone. When humor involves making fun of or ridiculing others, it is not in good taste, nor is it innocent. Hurting others' feelings can be cruel. Some people get their fun by putting others down. Sarcasm alienates people. It is a good idea to keep humor low risk. To have be a friend. We keep looking for the right employer, spouse, parent, child, and so on. We forget that we have to be the right person too. Experience has shown that there is no perfect person, no perfect job, no perfect spouse. When we look for perfection, we are disappointed because all we find is that we traded one set of problems for another set of problems. Having lived in the West for over 20 years, I have observed that with the high divorce rate the way it is, people find after they get married for the second time that their new spouse doesn't have the problems of the first one but has a totally new set of problems. Similarly, people change jobs or fire employees looking for the right one only to find that They traded one set of problems for another. Let's try and work around these challenges and make diversing or firing the last rather than the first resort. This is the result of being friendly. How we can become a true friend? One true friend, true partner, true traveler who is always with us. If he is commanding us, ordering us, spending time with us, then definitely we feel common, natural, easy. Sacrifice. Friendship takes sacrifice. Building friendships and relationships takes sacrifice, loyalty, and maturity. Sacrifice takes going out of one's way and never happens by the way. Selfishness destroys friendships. Casual acquaintances come easy, but true friendships takes time to build and effort to keep. Friendships are put to tests and when they grow stronger. We must learn to recognize counterfeit relationships. True friends do not want to see their friends hurt. True friendship gives more than it gets and stands by adversity. In the doom days, in the adversities, our friendship is tested. It is said in the time of examination, a scholar is tested. How boldly, courageously, confidently he sits in the examination and appeared in the examination and complete his examination. It is only in the test, it is only the examination of the scholar. In the normal days, we are not tested. In the simple lifestyle, we are not examined by the true observer. Fair weather friend. A fair weather friend is like a banker who lends you his umbrella when the sun is shining and takes it back the minute it rains. Two men were traveling through the forest and came across a bear. One of them quickly climbed a tree, but the other was unable to. So he lay on the ground and played dead. The bear sniffed around his ear and left. The fellow from the tree came down and asked him, "What did the bear tell you?" The man replied, he said, "Don't trust a friend who deserts you in danger." The message is as clear as the daylight. Mutual trust and confidence are the foundation stone of all friendship. People make friends for different motives. at all the places like in buses, while traveling, in coaching institutes, competitive classes, while taking training of learning, in communication, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google, and at other places, we see that friends are easily made for the specific objectives and motives. But the true friend who is always with us, he is our God or Lord, who has his presence but he is invisible. But we can feel his presence, we can imagine about him. He also comes on this earth in the physical form. But we must have to do meditation. Friendships can be categorized: friendship of pleasure, friend so long as the relationship is entertaining and fun, that is a fair weather friend. Friendship of convenience. This is where people make friendships to gain favors. These friendships last until the usefulness of the other person ends. These friendships are not permanent, but these are temporary. Conveniently, we have made the friend for comfortability. True friendship, this is based on mutual respect and admiration. True friends are people who have the good of each other at heart and act accordingly. Good deeds come back to us in the form of good friends. There is a lasting goodness on both sides. It is based on character and commitment. Prosperity brings friends. Prosperity brings friends. Adversity reveals them. Fair weather relationship. Fair weather friendship is described well by this poem. Listen carefully. Rejoice means delight. Feel delighted. Feel rejoiced. And man will seek you. Grieve and they turn and go. They want full measure of all your pleasure. But they do not need your woo. Be glad your friends are many. Be sad and you lose them all. There are none to decline your nectared wine, but alone you must drink life's gall. People who are true friends in the real sense help one another. But these are not favors. They are acts incidental to friendship. And if they don't help, they would be falling or they would be failing in their relationships. Relationships don't just happen. They take time to build. They are built on kindness, understanding, and self-sacrifice. Not on jealousy, selfishness, puffed up ego, and rude behavior. Relationships should never be taken for granted. Once relationships are established, they need to be nurtured constantly. Nobody is perfect. Expecting perfection is setting yourself up for disappointment. Friendly, it is difficult to achieve success without the friendly cooperation of others. A pleasing personality is flexible and adaptable while maintaining composure. Flexibility does not mean flimsy or helpless behavior. It means assessing and responding appropriately and in a timely manner to a given situation. Flexibility does not stretch to principles and values. So, dear brothers, sisters, friends, and citizens of my nation, those who are enjoying entertaining the holy words through the scripture which was written by, thought by, prepared by the natural lovers, nature lovers. Ultimately, we reach at conclusion that our true friend is nature, which never cheat, defeat, and beat and deceive any time, but it provides its cooperation, support, friendliness, favorability forever, permanently. So, I thank again all of the listeners and learners providing their valuable time. It is really wonderful time that you are listening the truth of science and spirituality. Thanks, brothers, sisters, friends, respected personalities. All of you are thanked by me. I welcome all of you